to Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
me, Rob, with not such a sore throat. Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you can't tell, my throat is definitely still all jacked up. So, yeah, you're going to get a good dose of Rob in this episode here, as I kind of will sit back and let him kind of run the show a little bit more. I will obviously interject as always because, I can't help myself. I like to poke into things, and that they come out right.
Wait a minute here.
Wait a minute. Well, I do like to poke into things as well. That's a whole separate podcast.
That's not family friendly right now.
That's not a family friendly podcast. All right, let's go. Today, guys, we got the next three quarterbacks here for you guys. We talked about the big three there the last episode with Caleb Williams, Drake May, and Jaden Daniels. Now we're on to JJ McCarthy, Michael Penix Jr, and Bo Nix. And let's talk about these guys. How much is a teardrop, from A to B there, so to speak, as they're kind of called. And which ones we like, which ones we think are false gold. Let's go over to it there. Want to start her up there, Rob?
Yeah, I guess so. But I just have to ask before we get into it.
Yeah.
Before we start playing some videos here.
Yeah.
What the heck did you do on your work vacation, your work getaway, that you've been ill ever since? My God.
So I went to the doctor today the second time. They said it's a virus of some kind going around down here in Florida, and it really takes a week and a half, if not several weeks, for your cough to go away. But I'm telling you, I'm really coughing so bad at night that I can't go to bed till like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's gross.
Keep in mind, I wake up at 5:30 for work.
That's why it's gross.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. So,
oh yeah,
let's get to happier talks. Happier talks.
Let's talk about Jonathan James McCarthy, otherwise, JJ.
And not to confuse him with J. Jonah Jameson, right?
That's it. Spider-Man. But Mr. JJ Watt, some people call him Senior McCarthy. As they call him JJ Watt.
We call it Senior. Is that what he said?
I said Senior McCarthy. But he's 21 years old from Grange, Illinois. He's got almost the build. He's got the framework for an NFL quarterback, but he's not quite the frame, I should say.
He's a little meat of the bones.
Yeah, he is 6'3", 202 pounds.
He needs to hang out with Eddie Lacy
at the Golden Corral. In high school, before even attending high school, he received a scholarship offer to play with Iowa State in 8th grade. That's something right there. He attended Nazareth Academy to start his high school career. In his sophomore junior seasons, he led the team to 26-2 record with consecutive appearances in the IHSA Classic 7A state championships, including winning it as a sophomore. I was about to say, if you don't know your ABCs or 1, 2, 3, so if you're not Michael Jackson, you can't follow this guy's career.
Way to start a song when I can't sing with my voice like this. I see what you did there.
1, 2, 3. Drew's on this conversation. It's all on me.
and you still can't get the words right. Come on.
Rats. It was at Nazareth. He started dating. What do we have to put who he started dating?
No. Because this is actually something I hear about actually with him. So we're going into it. We're going to keep. There's a reason I put this in the notes. I promise. There's a reason.
I guess. Corporatus.
That's why I put in the notes. I knew you messed the name. I'm like, this is fun for Rob.
Oh, she's great. And he also started getting into
Katya Koropas.
Koropas. But yeah, he almost started getting into
He almost
big.
did.
What?
What? Almost what?
That's what he almost started getting big into meditation.
That's supposed to be also.
Yeah, I was about to say, Drew. You're trying to mess me all up here. It's messed up.
Keep you on your toes. Keep you on your toes.
In 2020, Nazareth canceled their season due to COVID, and JJ transferred to IMG. And he also met Ethan over there, and he joined MI6.
MI6. Wow. First off, Tom Cruise is a Clearwater guy. IMG is in Bradenton, about 20 minutes south of here.
Touche. So IMG Academy in Pagent, Florida, for his senior year. The team went 8-0 and won because this is high school football national championship.
Yep, literally the best team in all football.
He went everywhere to be the best guy. JJ grew up an Ohio State fan and played on and playing for the Buckeyes after competing in high school as a 5-star recruit. He says Coach Ryan Daly lied to his face, which is kind of messed up there, if you believe his words, and told him that he wouldn't take quarterback in 2021 recruiting class until the summer, but then accepted a commitment from Kyle McCord in April. As JJ says, I used to love them. Now I want to kill them. So he commented.
A direct quote, by the way. Legit direct quote. I love it.
Yeah, crazy. So he committed to their biggest rival, Michigan.
So here's why, real quick, I brought up the girlfriend thing. And you're like, why did I bring up the girlfriend thing? He's engaged with her now already. So there are teams in the NFL that like that kind of stuff because, like, okay, here's a guy looking to settle down. He's maturing. He's getting his life together and that kind of stuff. He's done with the party and all that kind of stuff.
He's dedicated to commitment.
Listen, there's something to be said about a guy who's at 21 looking to settle down and get his life together. At 21, I sure as hell wasn't.
Oh, hell no.
Kidding me? I was just running from the cops. I mean, what? Who said that?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So let's talk about Michigan. In 2020.
Hey. Don't you know?
Don't you know?
Don't you know there are a bunch of hoses over here?
Yeah. I'm going to be hanging out with those Yoopers with the trolls from running the bridges over there. In 2021, as a backup for the season, he went 11 games, 34 of 59 with a 57.6 completion rate, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 27 was it the
rushes?
I started there. 27 rushes, 124 yards, 4.6 yards per completions, 2 touchdowns. That's per reception there, I'm assuming.
No, yeah. So 27 rushes, 124 yards, 4.6 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns.
Oh yeah, gotcha. Well, anyway, let's talk about 22. Let's say this guy, Jim Harbaugh, wasn't sure
if he ever goes to the NFL.
Yeah, wonder if he's good there, or yeah, like you said, goes to the NFL. Wasn't sure whether to start McCarthy or Clade McNorma at quarterback.
Who taught you how to read names? Cade McNamara.
Listen, there's so many different languages, so many different backgrounds, and how to pronounce the different names. So
it's freaking Irish. You're Irish.
Hey, listen, there's a difference between Irish and Scottish and whatnot. So let's get off your high horse there.
Scottish is a Mac, not a Mick. Okay.
That's not necessarily true. It's a son of, and it's also son of.
Yeah. Oh, so you know it. You're familiar with the concepts. I got you. But
still, different pronunciations.
It's not
Say
Whatever you
Radiator
just
in Boston and say Radiator in Florida. You get the same words, different.
Actually, the big thing here is we don't call it antifreeze. We call it coolant.
So there you go. Proving my point.
A different word entirely.
I could butcher names all I want.
I can tell.
I don't do what
You
I
can
want.
also dance if you want to. You can leave the world behind.
But if your friends don't dance, if they don't dance, they're no friends of mine.
You can dance.
Safety.
I take it back. You can't dance.
SSS. AAA.
Ballerina, you are not.
You don't know the safety dance. You son of a gun. Anyway. The competition even spilled into the regular season as you want to say it, Drew? McNamara.
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
He would have got away with 2 voices of those damn kids and that dog.
And a tricky last name. Started week one.
McNamara, a really difficult last name.
And McCarthy started week 2. I'm just being direct.
I would smack you right now.
Yeah. I'm sure the NFL and everyone out there in podcast I'm smack.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Anyway, let Drew have this one. He needs
it. Anyway, McCarthy in week 2 was the start, where his performance wrapped up the starting job going forward. Never looked back. He went 14 games, 64.6 completions, 2,719 yards, 22 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 70 rushes, with 306 yards of carry, 306 yards rushing, 4.4 yards per carry, 5 touchdowns. Second team All Big Ten. Pretty nice improvement.
Not bad.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. Act now, and you'll also get
in 2023. Yeah. McCarthy was the starter throughout the whole season and developed a reputation as being very efficient as a passer on their way to the national championship, which, if you looked at this tape, he improved game over game for the most part. 15 games, 72.3 completions, 2,991 yards, 22 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 64 rushes, 20. Well, I was going to say 20, but let's break it down. 2,020 yards, or 2,000.
That can't be right. That can't be right.
Yeah, wait a minute. That guy ran forever. He went for 202 yards. Thanks, Drew. Read the notes. Let me sabotage everything.
Womp.
202 yards. He averaged.
Hey, if somebody was on time and didn't get here 5 minutes late after the start, maybe a chance to read it over. Oh, yeah. What's that? Get your water.
So much work. 3.2 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns. CFP National Championship. He was the, should I say, Grease Breeze, Drew?
Yeah. You remember Brian Greasy?
I know. Anyway, Grease Breeze, quarterback of the year, first team All Big Ten.
Full metal jacket.
23 game logs versus the top 10 defenses, because like we did for the first top 3, we're breaking down the quarterbacks against the toughest defenses went against to see how they could stack up against the NFL teams.
Generation. I can't do that right now. X-Pac over here.
I was going Triple H. I got the water and everything.
Oh, you didn't know?
Oh, your ass better call somebody. So, going against the top 10 defenses in this division here against Alabama.
It was freaking Bama.
And the freaking Bama. McCarthy went 17 of 27, 63% completion with 221 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 rushes, 25 yards. And
Not bad.
yeah, not bad, but you know what?
Not great, but not bad.
He's also the first quarterback on this list not to throw an interception in this stat. Against Ohio State. Oh, it's super efficient. Against Ohio State, he went 16 of 20, which is, if you keep track, less completions, but you know what he did? More efficiency. 20%, 20% missed, 80% completion rate.
Wow.
148 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 rushes, 17 yards. Not a great day, even though he had an 80% completion rate, but he was efficient. Efficient day. Against,
and that's a theme. And that's the issue you have with him. You go, okay, he got some great games, efficient wise, but he never took the games over.
No.
He was never asked to either. So it's like, can he do it?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know.
Is he the guy to take it to glory? Is he the guy that's going to yeah. But against Iowa, he was 22 of 30. 73.3 completion rate, 147 yards, 6 rushes for a big whopping negative 35 yards of rushing.
Yeah.
Once again, not a great day.
Efficient,
but
though.
Efficient.
Efficient. That's what he is.
Can't take away. Efficient.
You can't take that away from him. Oh, no.
Which, once again, these 3, and we're going to round it up with this, with the next one, you'll notice no interceptions.
Yeah.
Against Penn State, he had...
I don't know if I even call this efficient anymore.
Yeah, what, 7 of 8?
It goes beyond efficient.
Yeah. 87.5 completion rate, 60 yards, 8 rushes, 34 yards, which is, it sounds like he played like a down or a quarter on this. You know,
it reminds me, remember Mac Jones' rookie year when they played the Bills? And they just kept on running the ball and running the ball and running the ball.
Well, that's what this was. I was about to say,
yeah.
This reminds me, if you want to go recent NFL history, like you said, the Patriots versus the Bills, where they ran in the snow, where they ran it every point, every point they could, because Penn State gave up 227 rushing yards on the day. So it obviously wasn't a passing day. Crazy. Anyway, let's get into some pros and cons here, because we got some pros.
Oh, yes.
The bigger one is he ran like an NFL-style system quarterback, especially one that runs under a hardball organization.
Yeah. I mean, he runs the same offense he does in Michigan that he did in the Niners. And probably the same system of run over in Los Angeles with the Chargers too. So
yeah, so like there's a lot of good things over here. He could throw lasers into tight windows, which some of these guys we talked about in top 3, like you talk about some tight coverage and college, they made it. You talk about some of those tight coverages in NFL, it was meh. But McCarthy seems like he could really lace the ball in there, and not just laces out or laces in, but really lace it into the arms. He's a true leader of a team as well.
You go to Ace Ventura there.
I was trying to go there. It was
you were going hard. There. I saw it.
It was a little hard there, but I tried.
Wait, Harley Finkel?
Laces out, Dan.
Turn around.
And there's a lot of quarterbacks coming out of this draft that have really good footwork and can run the ball. And I feel like McCarthy's really kind of flew under the radar a little bit with it, but like he's got some really good, moving around the building and rushes. Obviously, as we went through how much rushing yards he's had.
Yeah.
Especially when he had 2,020 yards rushing and that 202 yards.
Made one mistake.
Yeah. He's also really good under pressure. Like, as we him and Freddie Murphy and David Bowie were best friends.
Oh, yes.
I mean, even looking at the, national championship game, like he looked like he belonged there. He looked like he owned the game. And he also has the ability to run with it or throw it on the run. It kind of gives him some of that standard mobility quarterback efficiency that you almost need in today's game, the way it's been played. So very, very, very nice pros. And it's amazing to see all those pros to fall to down this far down, if you will. Cons. He doesn't throw the best deep ball.
No.
The offense was more run oriented. So he was more of that, hey, we're going to worry about the run and you got a good quarterback. Shit. Well, we still got to respect the run a little bit more.
Here's the thing is like, you're talking about drafting this guy first round, first half of the first round, even potentially. And it's like, if he's so good, why wasn't his offense run around him? That's the question. It's a legit question. Like, if he's that good, should they have passed more? Was this Harbaugh's issue? Was it them protecting him from himself? I mean, I don't know.
No. I mean, I get what you're saying, but at the same time,
you're telling me against let's say Penn State, for example. You're telling me that you think that Washington would only let Penix throw the ball 8 times? Oregon only let Bo Nix throw the ball 8 times?
No, they wouldn't have.
That's what I'm saying.
It is. So you don't know what you're going to get out of him at the national level because
JJ McCarthy is like a box of chocolates.
Oh, yes. You might get the Nutter Butter or you might get the sweet strawberry.
What are you doing? Wow.
I don't know what's in the box of chocolates.
Way to ruin a beautiful Tom Hanks movie.
What? That's not. You lie.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
That's a fantastic movie. Anyway, he needs to run through his reads a little quicker. He likes to sit there in the backfield and try to process moves a little bit more.
What's good is he does actually run through them, though. He does run through them. You can see it, the thought process in his head as he moves around a little bit, but it's just like
the release.
It's if you hold on the ball too long in the NFL, you're gonna get a hit.
Yes. And as a quarterback, the less you get hit, the better.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Ask Eli.
Yeah. He also needs to learn to throw the ball away when necessary, which goes in line of what we're saying to read the ball better.
So you know how many times you threw the ball away the entire season?
Tell me, Drew.
Take a guess. How many things? How many times do you think it is?
I want to say 0.
Once.
Oh, there we go.
Once.
I wasn't far off.
The entire season. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much. He also, like, as much as we talked about how efficient he was, his accuracy is not the best on the field. He needs to learn to throw the ball a little better, especially when he's trying to hit targets in stride.
Yeah.
So he wants to run. He wants to do the Mahomes things. You got to learn your footwork when you're doing this. You can't just go out there, balls.
It's everything. Though. It's not just footwork. It's also your shoulders because you got to square them off.
Well, that all lines up. Like everyone that threw a javelin out there, there's a step process before you release your shoulders. There's a step process.
Shoulders, knees, and toes. Knees and toes.
But it goes into the football. It's not that much different of a throw.
I never thought I'd see the day that Rob be giving javelin throwing lessons on 2 Giant Goofballs, but here we are.
Same here.
Go for it. We'll do the shot put next. What the hell?
Effing. No, but say, like, if you're in stride, like, you got to release in stride. You can't be releasing on your back foot or forward foot. Yeah, it's.
Listen, I've released my back before.
Well, that's on you.
Oh, bazinga!
But I mean, the final movement is we said he's 6'3". He's got the height, he's got the frame, but at 202 pounds, he's got the. No, he doesn't have the looks because his problem is he needs to probably add 25 pounds to be an NFL quarterback. Like at 202 pounds, he's a little bit of a lightweight. Yeah,
time for a pasta dinner. Oh, you there? We lose you, Rob? Up. I think we lost Rob. So let me take his place here until he gets on back here. So Boomer Esiason recently on JJ McCarthy said he fits the mold. Eli Manning, Daniel Jones, kind of understated, definitely a leader, but not somebody who is going to be out there like Baker Mayfield was in Cleveland. He's not going to be doing a million commercials or all that stuff. He's not going to embarrass the franchise. Do they do it at 6 or do they trade out of it, get a couple assets to still be there to take him in the top 15 if that's the case? And that's the question. To me, I think 6 is way too early to take him. Way too early. I even question, honestly, if he's the best of this group that we're talking about here today. I still think he's not. But if you're Joe Shane, who obviously has much more information than I do, I'm not going to sit there and try to say otherwise. And you think this is your guy, I've said it before. I don't care who Joe Shane thinks is his guy. Go get who you think is your guy. Ignore everybody else. Go get whoever you think is your guy because you have the information we don't have. You have the medicals. You have the backgrounds. You have the conversations. You have the better eye on this stuff. So if you think that's the guy, personally, I would say trade down a little bit to 10 to 15 range at that point. Take it then. But
yeah,
I think that's still high too. Like, I honestly think he's more of a lead first, early second kind of guy.
So I mean, we've talked about
lean towards the second. Yeah, let's get into that. Now, before we give our final verdict, if you haven't already, I saw a couple people have given some thoughts on him. Well, also some thoughts on Forrest Gump. Go ahead and pop in your thoughts because we're going to, same as we did with the last one, we're going to break this down to individual videos as well for each of the players too. So,
do you want to go through some of those comments over there?
We'll do that in a second. Give the final verdict. Let's get the final verdict. Now you can give your own verdict because the one I gave obviously is mine. But
I was going to say there. Do you want to give your verdict? And then want me to go into mine?
So I said he's very raw, needs time and patience to develop. Luckily, he's also very young. Again, he's 21 years old. His ceiling is a taller version of Russell Wilson, in my opinion. And I mean the Seattle version, not the Denver version. He's never going to be the guy that throws it for more yards than anybody else in the NFL. He's going to be efficient. He's going to be mobile. He's going to be a guy that's going to rally the team around him. I think he's going to be a decent guy in this league. I just don't think he's ever going to be elite. I think he's a guy you have to build the team around.
You also remember that Russell Wilson was like a top 5 quarterback for a few years of his career, especially when they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, in his prime. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. So I mean,
Russell Wilson is not a guy like Manning and Breeze where every year you're like, okay, top 5 in every category.
I mean, he was not far off that in his prime.
In his prime, but I'm saying year after year, he didn't have that 10, 15 year stretch like those guys did. And that's what I mean.
I mean, I'm going to start super high because I got 3 opinions on this guy. Because I think the ceiling could be very high, the floor could be very low.
Watch as we learn to develop Rob's multiple personality disorder.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to start very high.
All three of his opinions.
All three. This guy
has
got a lot of Tom Brady-esque stuff about him on film. He's got a lot of, I'm not going to be the greatest quarterback, but I'm going to be the greatest quarterback because I can play forever. And I have the ability to throw into a good system with a good team around me and have everything going. Tom Brady is a great quarterback. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. I don't think he has that in him to be a Tom Brady, but that's his ceiling to a lot of people. His floor to me is more like a Zappy.
Whoa.
Pick your other Patriots quarterback this year.
Yeah.
Take your abundance. You could go there. But where I actually see him being is more like an Alex Smith in this league. He's going to not be your flashy quarterback. He's going to win you games. He's probably going to have great games and lose you games because he's not that flashy quarterback.
He goes 7 of 10.
7 of 10. Like, listen, I watched. It blew my mind when Tim Tebow came up. You watched Alex Smith throw for 35 completions, 440 yards, 3 touchdowns, lose the ball game. That's what he could be. And then you get the guy that loves Jesus to come in and go 3 for 10 with 75 yards.
He was praying for a win.
Yeah. Touche. That was his problem. That's exactly his problem.
The SNL skit where Jesus came in at halftime and went into the Broncos locker room.
No,
it was hilarious.
Amazing.
It was hilarious.
That's amazing.
Anyway,
do you want to go into?
So you're saying anywhere from Tom Brady to Bailey Zappi?
Yep.
So basically, you're all over the place.
I'm going more Alex Smith because I think he has the ceiling. I think he has the coachability. He's got the room for improvement. He's showed it through his career since 8th grade to really improve his ability. I don't think he's going to play for 25 years and do what Brady has done, but you can't take away the improvements and the system that he's been in and able to improve from there. Like that's something he has the ability to do. I don't think he's going to possibly go that high, but you can't take that away. But he's also got the ability to fizzle out as a kid,
and he's going to take him really high. And I think he's going to be a legitimate player in this league, but I think he's going to be taken so high he'll never live up to the hype.
But that's part of it as well. Like Tom Brady was able to develop because he was taken so low. Alex Smith was taken high and was used and abused all around. And I think that's more where he's going to be.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what they said in the comments section here. Aaron Blue Shirts Bander says, "Can we agree that JJ shouldn't be drafted at 6? Seems like a reach." And yeah, I definitely agree with that one there. Deb says Nuno McCarthy in the first round. Again, I think he's more of a second round talent. The only reason I could ever see, like, if you took everything out of the picture about where I think he's going to actually go, if I got to pick where I wanted to take him, I would still just say probably end of the first round just to get that 5th-year option in case he is that good. I like that with the quarterback, but he's a second round talent, definitely, in my opinion. Yeah. All right. Next up. We had a sneak peek at Bo Nix somehow got in that video. I'm not even sure how that happened.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute here. Wait a minute. Who's editing this?
I think that guy's got a swollen tongue.
Apparently.
So this is a guy that we've talked about maybe once or twice on this podcast. I don't know if we like him or not. I can't remember. Mr. Michael Penix Jr., who is 23 years old, 6'3", 213 pounds. So he's got a little bit of room to grow some mass, and he's a lefty, which could be good or bad for the Giants, but we're gonna have a brand new offensive line. It's gonna be a little bit weird. Hey, listen, what 10% of the population is left here?
I wonder if he shops at Ned Flanders' Leftorium.
But in high school, Penix was born in Cooksville, Tennessee.
In high school, Penix was born.
In high school, he was born. He was that amazing. He came out at 14 years old. Anyway, his parents both had athletic backgrounds. His father was a running back at Tennessee Tech, and still holds some of the school's rushing records. His mom was a track and fields at Tennessee Tech.
Did she throw the javelin?
She threw the javelin, and she could tell you how to do that in stride. Spent most of his childhood living in Dade City, Florida. He went to Tampa Bay Technical High School, was their starting quarterback for 2 seasons, passing for 4,243 yards, 61 touchdowns, and just 6 interceptions.
Now, for those who are unaware what Dade City is, I'm going to give you guys a little background. There is a county in Florida known as Pasco County. It's known to be a little rednecky. Also, a lot of crack dealers. Calling it what it is. And Dade City is like the biggest city. It's the county seat, I think, actually, of Dade. It's about an hour away from the ocean. So it's not like he grew up in, like, Tampa Bay, party town, even though he went to a Tampa high school. For those who know Tampa Bay area there, the high school he went to actually is right near the Hard Rock Casino. Interesting place to put a casino and a school together, but whatever. But
Atlantic City is the thing too.
Well, you can't afford it there. There's only one casino in all of Tampa. So, but yeah, so this isn't the guy who grew up in, like, the beach part of Miami, Miami or Tampa or place like. He grew up in the middle of nowhere, basically. So he's just a good old boy.
Just a good old boy going to Indiana in 2018.
The booming metropolis of Indiana.
Yeah. He appeared in the first 3 games of the season as a true freshman. He split his time with Peyton Ramsey. And
I was worried I was going to have to help you with that name. I was getting ready.
The first ACL snap in the first 3 games, which caused a lot of Giants fans to say, do we want this guy? Do we not want this guy? Some teams. In those 3 games, he went for 21 of 34 yards, 61.3 completion percentage, 219 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 rushes, 7 yards. 3 games, not the best.
No. It's also rookie year, though.
But yes, you're right. He's a true rookie playing against, at that point, some grown men, and not just men out of high school. So when he gets to 2019, he had a similar year to 2018, except he got 6 games into the season before he got injured, where he dislocated his SC joint in his non-thrown shoulder. He went 6 games, 68.6% on his completions, 1,394 yards, 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 22 rushes, 119 yards, 5.4 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns.
So yeah, not a good start. Not a good start to the career there. Did we lose you again, Rob? Oh, Rob's frozen again. So let's get into 2020 here. Tore his ACL again. Now, beforehand, though, he actually looked as a possible Heisman finalist because the season was going that well. So 6 games, 56.4 completion percentage, 1,645 yards, 14 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 18 rushes for 25 yards. Obviously, that's not a very good 1.4 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. He was second team All Big Ten that year. So this is his first like breakout year he has, where all of a sudden things just kind of clicked in year 3 and became who he is now, basically.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Rob.
Thank you. It's a little stormy over here. Yeah, kind of about 20 miles south, but yeah, still problems down here. But anyway, yeah, he was second team All Big Ten that year.
Where did you say that? Yeah, where did you say that?
I wasn't there. I just wanted to make sure it was.
I'm just saying. I just said it was. I would not jip him that. Okay.
Just want to make
In
sure.
fact, I'm going to give him this. Here we go.
2021 dislocated a joint in his thrown shoulder this time. Womp, womp, womp. He played 5 games, 53.7 completion percentage, 939 yards, 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 17 rushes, negative 24 yards, negative 1.4 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. So, yeah, he looked like a guy coming back off an injury.
He definitely backtracked that year.
Yeah.
We talked about it. ACL takes a year sometimes.
100%. I mean, you don't have negative yards to still get 2 touchdown passes. So, like, he's had some big negative plays. But Penix quoted on the injury issue saying, there were times when I'd wake up in the day, I wake up the game, the day of the game, and I would wait until my roommate leaves, and then I would just lie on the floor. I'd just cry to God, just praying that he'd protect me that day because I knew where my head was. And let me start that again. I knew where my head was at that time, and it wasn't truly fresh, Penix said, adding that there was a lot of tears. So that's a guy that knew that he was getting beat up, getting injured, that he was injured, wasn't fully healthy, and was afraid of getting injured again.
You tell me somebody else with this kind of record of injuries that wouldn't have just walked away from the game. Point blank. Walked away.
That's a true competitor right there. That's what that is. But let's talk about the brighter side of his career. Because then he goes to Washington.
The softer side of Sears?
Yeah. The softer side of Sears. Or the better COVID years.
Better? What?
Better. In 2022, he goes to Washington, played in every game, and led the Huskies to 11-2 record and won the Alamo Bowl.
Don't forget.
Don't forget what?
The Alamo.
Oh, yes. I was like, what did I forget? He played 14 games, 65. Bazinga. 14 games. He played 65.3 percentage completions, 4,641 yards, 31 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, rushed 35 times, 92 yards, 2.6 yards per carry, 4 touchdowns. AP Comeback Player of the Year. Well deserved off of so many injured years, especially off the past. Second team All Pac-12.
Now keep in mind, first team was Caleb Williams who had the Heisman that year. So it's not like it was like he lost that to somebody, that was like, well, that's who you lost to. No, he lost to the best quarterback in football that year.
And where was he in the Heisman voting? He came in 8th. So he still was right there in the talk of everything. In 2023, the team went 13-0 in regular season, beat the Texas Longhorns in the Sugar Bowl, but lost to Michigan But then he lost to Michigan in the CFP National Championship game, which we talked about the other quarterback just fairly recently.
Oh, yes.
That year, he went 15 games, 65.4 completion percentage, 4,903 yards, 36 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 35 rushes, 8 yards, 3 touchdowns. That tells you the guy learned how to throw, way more efficient.
How to run.
Or he ran when it was needed and trusted his line for
Honestly,
protection.
If you look at the fact of what he does now, I think the biggest thing for him is he's learned when to throw the ball away, not take the hit.
Yep.
And he's learned it ain't worth the rush and to get 2 or 3 yards and then get hurt. He's changed the way he plays.
100%. I was also about to get there as well, because when you get injured 4 years in a row, just about, you learn to protect your body and play longer.
But now, healthy 2 years in a row. People forget that. They had to look at the 4 and not go the 2. Back-to-back years, not a single game missed.
Yeah, and that's very important to understand. If someone's injury prone, they're going to miss a lot of games.
Now, he also released all of his medical at the combine. And from everything I heard, his medicals were very good. There was no concerns. Beyond that, if you listen to people who actually watched the combine and the throwings and all, he had probably the best arm at that combine. Tight spiral, good location, was just the star of the quarterbacks that actually went through the system. Again, I know obviously some of the guys didn't like Caleb Williams at all, so I'm not trying to give him too much kudos there. But
well,
remember
also,
I said,
you got to remember too, a lot of these quarterbacks we talked about, they know how to run the ball. They know how to, get around. Oh, the biggest problem is not throwing a good tight spiral. I shouldn't say a lot of the problems, but at this level with it should be. When you spend 2 years with your ACL messed up, you can't run. He probably perfected that on the hospital bed.
If you want a premier pocket passer, that's what this guy is.
Yep.
That's what he is. He's not going to run around like crazy. He's not going to do crazy things. He's going to sit there in the pocket, and he's going to throw to whoever's open. That's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Old school.
I'm going to give a little bit more of that, but you're not wrong.
There's like I said, as long as we can fix some of the line, I still think he could be a stud. I really do.
Yeah. So he also received the Maxwell Award. Again, second team All Pac-12. And then he was second in the Heisman voting. Now in his
always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
That's right. Sometimes the bridesmaid's the best of the litter.
The litter?
I don't know why I was going there. Anyway, let's talk about the top defenses that he played against.
The bridesmaids here.
Yeah. Anyway, 23 game log versus the top.
Wait
defenses.
A minute. You disappeared for a while during my wedding. What happened?
Listen, let's not talk about that because my cousin was the bridesmaid. Gross. No offense, Chad. Anyway,
I didn't say that. There's multiple bridesmaids. I'm saying. Two are my sisters too, so damn. It's worse. It's worse.
Anyway, Drew, let's talk about playing against Michigan. Penix went for 27 of 51, 52.9% completions, 255 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 3 rushes with a -5 yards.
Yeah, not his best game.
No, and it also kind of goes in track that he's not a runner anymore. He's going to throw the ball away.
Exactly.
Versus Texas, he went
complete
29.
opposite.
Yes. At Texas, he went 29 of 38, 76.3 completion rating, 430 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 rushes, 31 yards. A way different ball game.
Yep. I'm telling you right now, if he had that kind of game versus Michigan, he'd probably be that top 10 category right now. People are holding on to that Michigan game. Like, listen, it's one game. It's part of your evaluation, but it's one game.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, 100%. You can't. The only thing you hold against him is like, can he play well in the spotlight?
Well, Texas was a spotlight too. That was the first bowl game they had in the college football playoffs.
You're right, but it's also not the national stage. You see the
That's
guy
the national stage. There's a nationally televised game.
There's a guy to get you to the dance, and there's a guy that can finish the dance.
Listen, I just want to get to a dance at this point. I haven't danced in forever. It's been since 2011.
Well, against Oregon, Oregon, he went 27-39, 69.2 completion rating, 319 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 4 rushes for -4 yards. Not his best game,
not his
but
best.
not the worst outing.
No, I mean, it's hard to get him on 1 interception without going to the game tape and looking at what the interception was too, you know?
Yeah. The pros for this guy, he will throw into some tight windows, which is what you need from an NFL quarterback. Because there's a difference between throwing to tight windows in college and tight windows in the NFL.
Yep, they get tighter as you go along.
That's it. And he's proven that he could throw into NFL tight coverage. He's a pocket passer. He was one of those loosey-goosey kind of run around guys. He improved that pocket passer. He's great at processing the game as it's playing out, which we've talked about it a few times, especially this past year. You either got it or you don't. That's something it's hard to teach. He's a mentally tough leader. Look at him in his first 4 years. He's overcome a lot of adversity.
Mm-hmm.
He's able to maneuver. Was that? Yeah.
He could be like one of those inspirational, like, made-for-TV movies.
Be on Lifetime in no time.
Cuba Gooding Jr. could play him.
20 years ago. 30 years ago.
He's like 60 now.
Yeah, I was about to say, wait, how old is he?
It's all right.
He plays his father.
Show me the money.
He's able to maneuver when he's getting blitzed, which is a good thing. I mean, his senior year, was he as good as he was his past prior years? No, it's good, but he's able to get out of the pocket and throw the ball away, which is in the NFL goes a long way. Cons. 60% of his career in the college, he was injured.
Yeah, it's not good.
His age, because of the COVID years, he's
in the injury years.
And the injuries, he'll be 24 when the season starts. So you're getting a guy on a 5-year
Jones' age.
Yeah, but you get him on a 5-year deal, 29 by the time he's done, not 26. And he's also constant pressure can get onto him. So
I think it's like flashback. That's some like PTSD kind of stuff.
Yeah. So you see that a little bit in the college film. How is that going to reflect in NFL film?
I think he needs to get a system with a good line. I really do. I think,
yes.
And again, we talked about this with Jaden Daniels. You can also go to him and go, is it the weapons as well? Because, Washington had a trio of receivers. They didn't have 2. They had 3 receivers that were all very good. And all guys who didn't get drafted day 1, day 2. Obviously, Rome Odunze is the one everybody talks about the most there. The guy's just a freaking beast. You got also Polk and McMillan, who are going to also be drafted at probably 2nd, 3rd round at that point with these guys. Maybe 4th, maybe one slips to the 4th. But he's got some good guys. But at the same point, those guys also all have him. So it's the same. We talked about Jaden Daniels. Do you penalize somebody for having really good receivers, or do you give them the benefit of saying, okay, he helped these guys develop into really good receivers?
And you also go, were they really good receivers because of this quarterback play?
Yeah, and the only way to know that is separate them. It's the only way.
Yeah.
Because they both, again, had really good receivers. So, one had 2 first-round pick, receivers. One has, 3 legit receivers, including one that will be a top 10 pick probably in this draft. So, I mean, yeah, we'll see what's going to happen there as far as those guys. But like I said, it's got to be said because I hear that conversation quite often. Like, these are the receivers. I don't know. It's a fair question. But how would you possibly know that either way? You have no way of knowing. You have no way. The only way to know is to separate them.
Pretty much.
But I've heard a lot of people talking with that. I know a Big Pat Sports was just talking about this here, too, about Giants getting Rome Odunze in the first round and then doubling up and getting Penix in the second.
I mean, that's not the worst. It's not the worst.
I'd be happy.
Yeah.
I'd be happy. Just saying.
I mean,
I'd be happy.
It definitely would help a lot, especially because you got the familiarity of those guys. Granted,
the
rookie year, I don't think they will play a lot together in the field at the same time, but
yes, they would.
That's a different.
I'm telling you right now, Penix would blow Daniel Jones out of the water.
All right, so we got Hyatt last year. What was his percentage of snaps when Wandell came in last?
Not very high at all because
when
Wandell
Wandell came in the year before that, what was his percentage of the snaps? Every time the Giants draft someone, they don't put. Every time the Giants draft a receiver, they never put them in a high snap count unless it's. I mean, OBJ is a little different, but
I'm saying right now that Rome Odunze is in a whole different class as these guys. He comes in day one as receiver 1. I'm telling her now, he's that good.
But the Giants won't play him like that. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, they will. I'm telling you right now, they will. I guarantee it. I'd place money on it.
Oh, then if that happens, we will place money on it.
You know, cheap,
I guarantee you the first 5 games, his snap count will be below 50%.
Only if he's hurt like OBJ was. If not, that's the kind of rookie year they're hoping. He's that good. I'm telling you.
He's that good, but that's not what the Giants do. That's what I'm saying.
Did they hold OBJ back once he got healthy? So what they're going to do is they play him. If they don't succeed, they pull back. As long as they're succeeding, they're gonna let the reins go, dude. I'm telling you, he's gonna succeed. Will not be a problem. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, especially Giants typically don't do that, and I really
because most of them don't run out of the gate that good. I'm telling you, that's what the difference is. Right. You have to understand the difference in the type of player we're talking about.
I understand what you're saying, but they don't get Penix Jr. They're not going to play him like that. They get him, they'll change their opinion a little bit, but they're not going to.
I think no matter what. But anyway. That's receiver talk.
During draft day, Drew and I will make a bet.
Yes. If we get them. Let's go to the final verdict here. So, again, everybody go ahead. If you haven't already, put your comments in so we can pop that into this segment. We break this up later on for you guys. My final verdict, this is going to upset some Giants fans, I feel like. I'm doing it anyway. I don't care. And it's going to not make any sense at the beginning, but hear me out. If not for the injuries, first off, I'm telling you right now, he'd be in the first batch of quarterbacks in this draft. 100%. My comp for him is a guy some of you guys may have heard of. Eli Manning. So the reason I'm saying that is he'll put up good stats, but he'll never be MVP caliber status. He'll perform well in big moments.
Super Bowl.
But he will also occasionally make a bad throw or interception sometimes when he leads to 4-1. Again, just like Manning. He'll also never be a good running QB, but he'll maneuver the pocket well to add time, just like Eli. So the big question we got to find out is, does he have that leadership and that clutch capabilities? Because if he does, I think he's that good. I really do. And I know I'm one of the few. I get it. It's just sometimes that as a player comes to the draft and I'm just really, really high on him. Like I'm getting like 420 high right now. I like him that much.
Damn.
I watch the tape, and that's what I see every time I watch it.
Listen, granted, with McCarthy, I brought in a little bit of Tom Brady there. I normally don't like going to great status right away when I draft. And I can see that. I understand what you're saying.
Here's the thing that when you're saying real quick with Eli, besides Giant fans, nobody else really has him in that great category. I'm not trying to be a jerk about it.
I've talked to fans around
as a stack compiler who was clutch when it mattered.
I mean, clutch when it matters means
I don't look at him that way. I'm a Giants fan, but non-Giant fans have to look at him.
Yeah, I mean, I think this guy's closer to like Jacoby Prescott, like
You're calling him Jacoby Brissett? You're really calling him that? Wow.
I said his flow, his ceiling, his floor. Sorry, his floor.
Okay.
I'm saying like that's his low. I like this guy a lot, and I wasn't gonna go like, oh my god, he's gonna be great. He's gonna be like an Eli, especially coming if we get him as Giants. I think he's gonna be anywhere between like a Tannehill and an Eli. Like I think he's gonna be at a very, very improved. Like if you got Madden and you're able to improve Tannehill's stats, that's what you got. Like he controls the room, especially if he gets a group. He's got a stronger arm than Tannehill, but like he's not your running quarterback. And if he's got a good, especially if he's got a good running back, it will improve his game a lot. And he's, with his abilities, like I think he's like a Tannehill if he did steroids.
Yeah. The big thing with him in the end is, can he stay healthy? That's the big thing. And it's a question. And again, that's why I said if it wasn't for the injuries, he'd be in that batch. But I'm telling you right now, to me, if there's a position you take the chance on, it's quarterback because of how important that position is. Now, how bad would it be if he's really, really good and we get him and he gets injured again? He's out.
Oh, my God. Giants fans would be riding all over.
MetLife strikes again. You want to get grass in the field, draft Michael Penix. We'll get grass real quick.
East Rutherford would be on fire.
Yeah. All righty. Let's get to the comments people had here real quick on the on Michael Penix here. My dad says Michigan is a pro-style defense, and that's very telling for a QB. It's just the truth again. That's why you can't ignore that game. That's a game that should give you pause. But any evaluation you get is going to be good and bad. That's life. He said, go back to the game and see how many times Odunze was open. Odunze is always open. I feel like every single play is open. That guy's that good. Deb asked if we're going to cover free agent QBs in a different podcast. Yeah, we'll cover that in a different one there. My dad said Odunze will play from day one, at least 75% of the snaps. He's that good. See, I told you. Don't argue with my dad. Deb says, I run hot and cold on Penix. It'd be interesting to get Penix and Odunze, though. Yeah, it'd be an interesting duo in general because you get both of them have a certain level of comfort going into the NFL. So my dad says, I think JJ McCarthy is closer to the Eli competition than Penix. I think the DJ injuries, they will steer clear of Penix, but I'm okay with him in the second round. Yeah. Again, I'm not suggesting getting him in number 6.
Yeah, no.
I would trade up into the first round to get him and not risk losing him in the second. And I want that 50-year option too. But yeah, this is a guy that I'm telling you right now. I'm very high on him. Very high.
You're so high.
So high. So high. Go Cypress Hill there. All the kids like, who? What? Oh, yeah. Right. Cypress Hill.
They were around before you were born. Hooligans.
You know what time it is?
Next guy time.
I'll tell you who knows what time it is. Bo knows.
Oh, Bo.
Rob tries to sneak in that water. Doesn't quite work.
Well, Bo knows. Mr. Bo Nix comes in, 23 years old. Old. Anyway, he's from.
What?
I said Bo knows. He's Bo old. 23 years old. He's from Arkansas.
What town?
You know, the one with all the churches and the street lights.
Which was the name of the town, Rob?
Arcapanita.
What? Here, let me help you here. What town does the Eagles play for?
Anyway, he's 6'3".
Arkadelphia. Arkadelphia.
Listen, have you ever listened to a redneck in Arkansas try to pronounce that town?
Listen, have you ever heard of the wolf cry to the blue corn moon?
The blue
Or
corn
ask
moon?
the grinning bobcat why he grins?
The pale blue night, isn't it? No, anyway.
It's Pocahontas.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, he's 6'3", 214 pounds. Once again, one of these quarterbacks that we've talked about, it's got a good height, some good frame. Could stand to add a few pounds to his frame. And at 6'3", Drew, you kind of know, but you can pack on a couple pounds when you're a little bigger like that. It's pretty easy. Not saying you're fat or anything.
Yes and no. Honestly, yes and no. It's harder sometimes. Like when I was younger, I was probably 15 years ago. I was that weight, like 215, at 6'7", and I can never gain weight. I eat like a pig. And when I used to work out, even I didn't even get much out of it because keep in mind it spreads out over such a large frame. You know, some people are just naturally stick figures.
Yeah, but I mean, he's also got 4 inches less on you, and he's also not going to be working with the NFL lifting and nutrition coach.
And those 4 inches matter for the record.
Oh, it definitely does.
Oh yeah,
that is what she said. Anyway, and it's early life. He was born in Arkansas. He was raised mostly in Princeton, Alabama.
Freaking Bama.
Freaking Bama. He played high school ball at Princeton Valley High School. During his high school career, he accumulated 12,000 total offensive yards and 161 touchdowns en route to winning Alabama's Mr. Football Awards as a senior at Princeton High School. Yeah.
There's a period there. Punctuation is important.
Punctuation as a senior. Princeton headquarters was head coach. Princeton's head coach was his father, Patrick, former Auburn quarterback from 92 to 95. His grandfather was the high school coach with over 300 wins.
He was the coach?
He was the coach. With over 300 wins. That's when you get over 300 wins, Drew, you become the coach.
A
coach.
Not a coach.
His brother, Caleb, is a quarterback.
Caleb Caleb
is a quarterback at Clemson, and his adopted brother, Tess. I can't help but mess up all these names. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
All right. Taz, Tizzy.
I would love if we can put you back in time and have you work at the office in Ellis Island. What's your name? Oh God. You're a baker? Hello, Mr. Baker. You're good.
Yeah. Oh jeez.
It's people like you that messed up those names. Up, we lost Rob again. So, all right. Anyway, so yeah, he left the school as the top dual threat quarterback of his class in the nation there. So, goes to Auburn like his dad. Starts right off the bat, really as a true freshman there. Team finishes 9-4, 13 games, 57.6 completion percentage, 2,542 yards, 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. 97 rushes for 313 yards, 3.2 yards per carry, 7 touchdowns. Is SEC's freshman of the year. Again, those of you guys who watch us on a regular basis know what I think of the SEC. That is the minor league of the NFL, basically. So if you win any award in the SEC, I am impressed right off the bat. But unfortunately, things didn't continue going so well for him at Auburn. Rob, take it away with 2020 there.
2020 it's his 2020 team finishes 6-5. He played for 11 games, a 59.9 completion percentage with 2,415 yards, 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 108 rushes, 388 yards, which averaged out to 3.6 yards per carry with 7 touchdowns. So not too shabby for Mr. Bo over there.
Mr. Bojangles.
2021.
Oh, nitty-gritty dirt band.
In 2021, the team finished just 6-7. In the 10th game of the season, Bo went down with the season-ending injury. He described himself as a miserable player under head coach Brian Harris. Excuse me.
Harrison.
What was that?
You can't just cough and skip the name Harrison.
Yeah, Harrison. I'm sorry. I have a little bug over here.
I'm on to you. Like, cough, move on.
Hey, no, I stick out my terrible pronunciations.
Oh, no, you skipped that one. We caught you. It's on tape.
Anyway, who had been hired that year as and entered the transfer portal. Yeah, excuse me. He played 10 games, 61 completion rating with 2,294 yards, 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 57 rushes, 168 yards with 2.9 yards per carry, 4 touchdowns. And then Mr. Bo Nix goes to Oregon.
Through the trail.
Was that?
Through the trail.
He went to the trail.
Got his wagon floated across the river.
His family made it. He was one of the 10% of people that actually got to Oregon without having people die on the
dysentery.
Yeah, dysentery. 2022. The team finished 10-3. Bo played for 13 games. He had a 71.9 completion rating with 3,593 yards, 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 89 rushes for 510 yards with a 5.7 yards per carry with 14 touchdowns.
That's a lot of touchdowns. A lot of touchdowns.
A lot of touchdowns and a lot of yards. A lot of yards improved on all stats.
Pac-12, telling you.
Yep. And 2023, team finishes 12-2. He played in 14 games, finished with a 77.4 completion rating, 4,508 yards, 45 touchdowns. Let me say that again, 45 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, which is fantastical. Rushed 54 times, 234 yards, 4.3 yards per carry with 6 touchdowns. Yes, he did half of his rushing touchdowns and half of his rush in that year, but he still put up 51 touchdowns. My God, so good. He got the
Ton of touchdowns.
Ton. Buku touchdowns.
Bo knows the end zone.
Oh, Bo Nix knows. He nicks it every time. He won the William V. Campbell Award. Trophy, I should say. I said award. My apologies. Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year first team all Pac-12, finished a third in the race for the Heisman Trophy. He also, when it comes to the NCAA records, highest single season completion rating at 77.45.
That's impressive. You're beating all-time college records.
Yes. Most career starts at quarterback at 61.
AKA he's old.
Yes, I was going to say it. Pretty much what that means. Gotta love the Kobe years.
Oh, yes. Now, with the game logs with Bo Nix, guys, we just went a little different because Bo Nix, I got to say, he's pretty consistent and pretty steady across the board. He didn't have a single really, really bad game. He really didn't. So we just got the stats for his worst game, which is against Washington, which just proves that this is his worst game. That's not a bad game.
No. But game logs, they said against Washington was the worst game. He went 21-31, 61.8 on his completions with 239 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Which
Not horrible.
Yes, but I say not a terrible good day.
Yeah. So,
but let's talk about some of his pros over here.
And the cons.
And obviously the cons come here. The more we go on with this, the more cons, a little less of the pros. But you gotta admit, he's gotten better each season and significantly better each season.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. He's also good in those tight windows, which we just talked about Penix Jr. In the NFL. The higher it goes up, the more that the college open is not open anymore. He's not prone to turnovers, so he knows how to manage his ball.
Oh, yeah, Bo knows.
Bo knows. He's also good at avoiding sacks. Bo knows Nick's no sacks. Accurate and throwing on the run, which is good. Fantastic. Cons. He didn't throw down the field often, dependent on the screens and short routes. Like he's really was into a lot of slants this year. He was really into play action, little screen plays. There was no deep ball through.
Like to the point of like it's like no wonder he set the record for completion percentage. He didn't throw it down the field at all. I'm telling you, at all.
Yards down the field.
So
there's a difference when you throw the ball 40 yards down the field to 4 yards down the field.
Yeah, you can't do that in the NFL. You'll get exposed.
Yeah, I mean, it worked for Tannehill for a little bit with when he had Derek
King Henry.
I was gonna say when he had Henry behind him.
Yeah, you can get away with Stephanie. Get the best running back in that generation behind you.
Pretty much. Another thing, what he does, he does throw the ball well, like I said, in stride, but he sometimes depends on that, and he leaves the pocket a little too early because he knows he can throw the ball down the field in stride. So he needs to trust his line and throw the ball in the pocket a little bit more, which would also allow him to be able to throw the ball down the field a little bit more. The deep throw actually is, I would probably give him like a C+ in that field. Like it's not the best coming up. He also needs to work on some of that footwork. Yes, he throws in stride, but it's doesn't quite have the movability that you would like from a guy that could be able to move. It took him 5 seasons to look like an NFL player, which is a big thing. Drew, you're on mute. You need to unmute yourself.
I keep on forgetting I'm doing that because I'm coughing so often. But yeah, it's an honest statement. 5 years to get this kind of season. So And when he had a season, he's doing things you can't do in the NFL. That's my biggest issue with him.
Yeah. So it's a toss-up here. But Drew, you want to give your final verdict?
Yeah, before we do, anybody, if they haven't already, go ahead and pop your comment in the section here. Let us know what you think of him. So yeah, his ceiling is an average starting quarterback in this league, and his floor is a decent backup. That's my personal opinion on him. My comp I have for him, Baker Mayfield, minus the attitude.
It's really funny because that's actually where I had him, was Baker.
Like, he's gonna, some years he'll look good, some years he won't look so good. I just don't think he's a legit, like, build your team around kind of quarterback.
No, he's the peace maker. Like, you got a good line, you got some good deep weapons. Oh, I should say deep weapons, but you got some good weapons. You got a good running back. Let's pass this guy in, and you could go yourself a long way.
Yeah,
Baker's probably the best. Like, Baker's low, Baker's high is probably like right around where he's going to be, because Baker's had some pretty not so good years.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. There's some difference in how they play, obviously, but I think that's what I mean is like sometimes you go, okay, is there something here? You don't know. Think about Baker Mayfield is going into what, year 5 he's going to go into? Hold on, no, he was with the Saquon class, so year 6. He's going to year 6, and people still don't know what to take of him. They still were like, is he a starter? Is he not a starter? That's what I mean by Bo. He's going to show you just enough where you go, okay, maybe he can make this league, and keep you thinking that.
Yeah, I guess if you want to be jerky, compare him to Carr.
No, because Carr it was
Carr puts up stats.
If it wasn't for Carr's injury, because he's got an injured shoulder, he's going to probably deal with it the rest of his career. He'd be still a decent quarterback. The problem with him is he got his best years wasted by the Raiders. Point blank. So, all right, let's see what we got comment-wise here. So, my dad says, Auburn is not known for producing quality NFL quarterbacks. Yeah, no, they're really not. He says the Oregon offense makes it difficult to compare QB stats to future success. Not to mention, what's the last time we had a big Oregon quarterback? Who is it? Marcus Mariota. I could see the same kind of career as what Mariota is dealing with now. Start off a little bit in the beginning as a backup, then maybe got a second chance to start, that kind of thing. My dad says Nix does not push the ball downfield. Penix will be more of a game manager whose completion percentage dramatically decreases as he throws outside the numbers and downfield. His arm is okay, but not elite. Exactly. And then Deb says, not a Knicks fan. And then my dad says Baker Mayfield has a stronger arm than Bo Nix. Yes, he does. But like I said, I'm talking more the comparison of like the end result.
His NFL play.
Yeah, he gets to the end result different ways. But the fact that, again, he's going to be a guy that I think people will question for years whether he can be a good starter this league. And in the end, if you got to question it for years, the answer is no. Because you should know by then. So, all righty. Let's pay the bills real quick here. And then let's get to the rest of the comments we have. I'm going to let you read the rest of the comments here.
Enjoying the show? Looking for more goofball action? Consider a membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Memberships start at just $5 and give you additional goofball access. One-time support payments also available starting at just $3. buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.
Oh, yeah. So, Big Blue in the Bronx says, what up, y'all? What up? If you guys have not followed them yet, follow them right there on the screen. If you're listening at home, again, Big Blue in the Bronx. If you're not watching on the video. All right, Connor says, J. Jonah Jameson, no good wall crawling misfit, get off my building. Let's see. Connor goes into all kinds of yeah. shrimp and shrimp stampy and shrimp stew and all that kind of fun stuff here. So
Bubba Gump.
yeah, let's get into into the news here because we got a lot of stuff to go on here because people are making cuts left and right today, guys, left and right. So let's go into the Giants news first, and then we'll get into that NFL news there.
It's time for the news.
All righty, go for it, Rob.
All right, Giants news. Rumor has it.
Actually, I can't do it. My voice is that shot, dude.
Is the Giants have yet to make any concrete offers to Barkley, but plan on making him one at the 11th hour, which is kind of like what I've said from the get-go. But
I think he's going to see this is such a saturated running back market, and I think they'll give him an offer saying, point blank, take this, or it's off the table.
I don't think they'll be that aggressive, but I think
they will. They'll backtrack. Of course.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's going to be that aggressive, but I don't think you're far off. Also, Giants did not use any of their tags, and therefore, Barkley and Xavier McKinney are set to become unrestricted free agents next week if the Giants and them don't agree to an extension beforehand.
Bum. And then tomorrow, guys, we're going to do wide receivers here, but tomorrow we're going to do something a little different for you guys. We're going to do a conversation on that. Was that the right move? Should we have tagged them? What do you think could happen going forward? Because that's one of the biggest things this offseason is those two guys. So we're going to have an episode dedicated directed to that.
Yeah. And Marshall Green at
friend of the show.
We
got to get him back on. Marshall was good people.
Yeah, he was a good guy. He is let me say it again. Marshall Green of Chat Sports, because I want to make sure we got that out there. Chat Sports is another good podcast on YouTube that it's a good follow.
Oh yeah. Every day.
Yeah,
every day they're on.
Non-stop. All teams, every sports. It's,
yeah,
good
I think
stuff.
I think they have actually a think tank home where they all live in. Seriously.
Yeah, I think it's kind of similar to Locked On, is what their thing.
No. What I'm saying is Locked On. They have their own teams. I think these guys literally live in a house that Chat Sports pays for, like a think tank, and they're all there.
I never asked Marshall that, but I guess I wouldn't be surprised. That's how. I mean, they get on fast all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure that's what they do.
But he's reporting the Giants have an interest in Josh Jacobs if they can't get a deal done with Barkley. So if the Barkley thing falls out, can we talk into Jacobs coming over here? It does
all
that
depends on cost.
Yeah.
If he's cheaper and you want to draft a guy and have him, the two of them together, then why not? But again, it's all based on cost. I'll say this: the first half of that year scares the crap out of me paying him any money. Because that's a 1-year deal, though.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get into the NFL news. All righty, go for it, Rob.
All right, the Eagles release cornerback Avon Maddox.
I'm coming for you. Baby doesn't know what movie that's from. You need to watch all the Rambo movies immediately.
Bills to release cornerbacks Tre'Davious White, just 10 games combined the last 2 seasons. And Saron Neal.
Names.
What was that?
I gave you all the fun names.
I love the names. God, Drew, my connection. My connection.
So anyway, Bills released cornerbacks Tre'Davious White and Syrian Neal, safety Jordan Poyer, center Mitch Morse, and wide receiver / kick returner Deontay Hardy. They keep on there. Traded one of their guards as well to the Bears a couple days ago. They are desperate for cap space, guys. Desperate for cap space. White's been injured a lot the last 2 seasons, played just 10 games. So he's an obvious, like, if you can't stay healthy, you got to go. Mitch Morse is 9-year starter. So he's 30, in his 30s now, where he's getting on the wrong side of that 30 mark there. But he's been a starter for 9 years. He was a Pro Bowler back in 22. So these are guys that are releasing. Jordan Poyer has been a guy in the long term. But what I think is kind of interesting here is here's another safety hitting the market. Just saying. Safety. Who might need a safety?
Mr. McKinney.
This might pop up in the conversation tomorrow. I'm just saying.
Most likely.
All right, go for it.
All right. The Commanders signed tight end veteran himself, Mr. Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz.
Went from the Cardinals to the East, the Commanders.
Oh, yeah. He's getting himself around. Nice. Yep. Anyway.
Can't call him ring chasing, that's for sure.
Russell Wilson, I think that's how you pronounce it over here. Russell Wilson is officially free to negotiate with teams. Apparently, the contract also has an offset money language in it. Meaning, whatever he signs that's much less the Broncos owe him, which is very interesting.
Seriously, I know that.
Yeah, he could literally sign for the minimum to stick it to the Broncos and allow a new team to move around that. So to say you get a team like the Giants who want to pick up a veteran like Russell Wilson, not saying they want that. He signs the veteran minimum. Broncos got to pay the rest of his salary.
Well, yeah. I mean, here's what I'm saying. So let's say, for example, if someone signs him to a $15 million deal, that's $15 million less that the Broncos have to give him. So if you give him 1.5, whatever the veteran minimum is, because he's been playing forever, it's only 1.5 less they have to give him. He's getting the same money either way. So why would you not go that kind of route?
Yeah, especially the way that ended.
Oh, yeah. Kidding me? He's going to want to stick it to him.
I mean, especially the Peyton. Yeah, it's...
Yeah.
But, yeah, the Raiders are expected to be highly aggressive in trying to trade for a top 3 pick.
Yeah. When I mean aggressive, I mean, like, call the cops aggressive.
Yeah, that's what it is. And you know what it is as well as
crazy things.
And I've heard, and it's not in little notes here that I also hear that the Patriots there, they might be looking to move back down.
I've heard of that. I think they like JJ.
We shall see. The Seahawks release safeties Jamal Adams and Quandrillion Diggs.
Quandre Diggs.
Quandrillion Diggs, along with tight end Will Disley. Sorry, I can't help it now. The final list. I know.
You're
the final list of everyone loves a good dick.
No, people hate dicks. So maybe go into the whole thing from Team America.
That's exactly what I was about to do.
Yeah, that we I gotta boot it off somebody different.
Yeah. Just think about Team America.
Yeah.
Anyway, the final list of franchise tags recipients: Josh Allen of the Jaguars, Brian Burns of the Panthers, T. Higgins of the Bengals, Jalen Johnson of the Bears, Justin. All right, now I'm just going to push this. Matakuki. All right, it was 2 off. Matakuki of the Ravens, Michael Pittman Jr. of the Colts, L'Jarius Steves. I can't. It's a tongue twister. L'Jarius Sneed of the Chiefs. Of the Chiefs. Say that 5 times fast.
Hooked on phonics works for me.
Say it 5 times fast.
I can't say anything. That's my tongue.
Antoine Winfield Jr. of the Bucks. And then you got the safety, Kyle Dunger was given.
Dunger. Is he Australian now? Duggar.
Dungaroo.
Dungaroos.
Let's get transfer tech.
Dunkaroos. Remember Dunkaroos?
Yeah.
They were awesome. Good old
I haven't had
Dunkaroos.
one of those in forever.
No one has. I used to love Teddy Grahams back in the day too.
Oh yes. I mean, you're just dipping a cracker into sugar. It's fantastic.
What's not to like?
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
That's fine. All right, and lastly up, you had the Chargers release linebacker Eric Kendricks.
Yes. And he was just picked up by them last year. He had a good year too, but he's definitely on the wrong end of 30. So somebody can get a very cheap player if they really wanted to, but it's like all of a sudden they just, for whatever reason, 1 year and he's done.
Yes,
I think there's one more note as well.
Did you just add it in there?
Yes, I did.
Is it hooked up Foxes for me?
No, it's not. Just made up a fun name, trying to get you to say it.
Is it bend over?
No.
Sad update it. You jerk.
Anyway, I'm deleting it. Let's move on. All right, guys. Do the outro, man, because my mouth is just hurting right now from talking too much.
All right. Well, anyway, guys. Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you all listening in. Drew and I had fun. Oh my God.
You just saw the update, I guess.
I just saw the update. Sorry. The Patriots signed some dude from, I guess, the Philippines. But anyway, Drew and I appreciate you guys listening. It's been a fun time. You could join us on all our podcasts. We're live on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, X, if you will. We're on what are things that we're live on, Drew? Look at that. We're on Facebook, YouTube. Drew's chest, Drew's mute beyond, Drew's LinkedIn page as well, because that is my favorite.
Oh, yes.
Drew's LinkedIn. I had to get that in there. Sorry.
Yes.
We're also on Spotify. If you're listening the next morning, we're up at usually 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Drew stays up late to get that, make sure that gets done.
No, I just schedule it.
Drew stays up late all night. He works through the night to make sure that you can listen to this podcast on your way to work. So we're on Spotify. We're on Apple. We're on iHeart. We're on Dizzard Dunker. We're on all the fun name podcasts out in podcast land. If you actually don't know a name of a podcast, then or of a podcast application, we're actually on that.
You're trying to steal my line.
A little bit there.
I saw you did. Didn't work.
Drew, not at all. It's your line. Drew, what am I missing here?
As always, Giant fans.
Go, G-Man!
G-Man!
G-Man! Drew can't say this, G-Man!
To Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.